Yep, we're taking the fender off of this before we move it another inch. This fender was perfectly straight. Ooh. The injectors are out of here. They're down at the shop getting refurbished.
Put some slits in here, and then I think it looks kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, so Dad bought that exhaust pipe because we were wet stacking so bad because of the injectors that were kind of not working right. And we got a 90-degree stack with a curve that comes out here just to run it and protect things. But actually it does look kind of cool, so I think we're going to paint it, so we'll have it as a spare.
We'll use that until it dries up, and we don't have any wet stacking. Then we'll pull it off and put our straight pipe on.
First thing we're going to do is put this other fender on here, and I guess we can bolt up our floorboards in here and the rest of the firewall too. Dad's going to put the access cover for the pinion gear back here on there, and we're going to put that floor pan right there over it.
Okay. I don't know that, can we do it that way? Can you slide it back enough?
So we got it out.
Okay, I guess...
We're fine. We can put this in.
I guess that won't be too bad to get out if we got to get to this pinion again.
No.
That's funny, they left a hole for the bolt for this here.
Yeah. But covered the rest of it up. We're just going to put all the bolts in here loosely until we get this fender on over here. Let me go grab the fender.
Let's see, we got to come this way. And we got to get that light. There we go.
Can you pull it back towards you a little?
Yeah.
Too much. Fender's on. We got everything snugged up. Nothing's tight. Floor pans and stuff are still loose. Because what are you bringing, Dad?
Seat base.
Seat base. Oh, these are adjustable. This is how you adjust your seat back and forth on the D4. And actually has quite a bit of movement. There's 3 holes. There's 1, 2, 3. You're in the second one right here.
That's the first. I think your first notch back is...
That's where it was. But see, that
I think we want it right there.
Is that going to interfere with our belt pulley? One of us is super short and the other one's taller. And we're debating whether to put this seat back or forward. I want it back all the way. Dad wants it forward all the way. Yeah, you can see the 1, 2, 3 holes and then 1, 2, 3 up there.
I'd put it right here.
Dad's worried that it will interact with our belt pulley.
I think it will.
Lever here.
Because here's the bracket for the belt pulley.
This is how it was. To the D4 parts store.
They're all even.
Yeah, they are. Well, here's 5T. This is the one that's closest to it. And yeah.
They're all even.
They're even.
I think we should put them even. I really do.
Those are even also. Even.
Yeah.
7U over here is even. This guy's got risers. No, these aren't even.
No. Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Well, darn.
I say we should put it there.
All right.
We're not going to be spending hours on it.
Hey, you never know. We're going to put it even.
I think the belt pulley will work better that way, too.
Wow. I guess D4 operators back in the day weren't as big as me. Dad's putting the bolt in there. Looks like we got one that lines up here. Can you push that down a little bit, maybe? Yeah. There we go. And one is...
in the front.
Right there. Got everything started on the fenders, on the floor pans, on the firewall. The little bolts up there in the front of the firewall. I think we can tighten everything down now. We were going to wait for the tags and the decals and the handles and everything for the next episode, but we got to put this one in right now that goes on the side of the seat because the fuel tank's in the way.
Yeah, this one goes right here, like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
See?
That's the patent tag.
Yeah.
So on a lot of these D4s, that tag is on the back of the seat. On this one, it was right there. And I think that's because they had the belt pulley handle on the back of the seat.
There.
Sorry if it's getting dingy, folks. It's thundering outside. I think we got a storm passing through, but apparently we're getting our spring storms in early August. Dad's using some new stainless steel drive rivets that I got from McMaster Car. He's tapping those in with a brass hammer so that we don't mar up the outside of the drive rivet. Dad spent a lot of time cleaning this up, and this is scarring that was on there already when we got the machine, but he did a good job.
Not much I can do about it. Somebody hit it with a piece of metal or something.
We just noticed that the holes in the seat here, you could actually take this bracket out of here and put this seat in here lower than what it is right here.
It would lower you about 2 inches.
Yeah. So it is adjustable. Early Caterpillar ergonomics. Okay, let's move it ahead.
Right there somewhere.
Yeah. I keep thinking of the absolute amount of mud and dirt that was in here and how I couldn't even see these bolts when we took this thing apart. We noticed another thing that might interfere here. The armrests for the seat, we got to get bolts that come in from the outside, and it might be a little too close to that fuel tank, so let me check. This was another one of my overzealous purchases at the beginning of this project that's been sitting in wait, and I should have probably got a Hahn seat, but I got these instead. So they bolt through the side of the seat into the armrest here, and these are very small bolts. Made in USA. Now over here on the 7U, it's got the same style, same seat. They don't have the accessories on the fender like we do. We're finding that a lot of these parts have got to be done in order. You put one thing on to do another, to do another. So we've got the seat loose again, so we can put the armrest on over there.
Here, I know how we can fix this.
Yeah, I do too. We go over in the other shop and get the one off of the 22.
It's torque.
Yeah, but it's gonna fit at least.
I don't know. We should measure it before we do that.
This thing's not fitting, and it's not lining up with any of the holes in the back of the seat. It's the next day, and last night I was thinking about our armrest situation here on the D4, and these just aren't going to work. But I remembered that our Caterpillar 22, it's a 1937, it has the correct armrests on it, and these are Hahn reproductions, which is what I should have done for this D4, but I got a little excited way too early on, and I got the wrong seat. But we can make it work, so I can make this back seat cushion work here. I just have to drill new holes in the back and find some different ones of these. I can't remember what they call these nuts, but I'm going to get 3/8 ones that are the correct size, because actually part of the belt pulley has to attach through one of these holes. So I'll get that fixed, probably go to town and get those, and we're going to use these armrests. I'll clean them up, and these are the ones off of the 22. These will work on our 22, so I could just swap them out, because these can overhang on the 22. There's no side tank, toolboxes, or anything on the fenders to interfere.
Up. There, that's plenty.
On the bottom of the cushion, we're going to need to drill out some bigger holes in the wood here and here to correspond with these lugs down here in the seat where this cushion fits in. And the original one had these kind of metal brackets underneath to kind of give it a little bit of extra strength. So we're going to make a couple of these and screw on around those holes where the seat attaches. So how are we going to mark where this cushion goes? You have an idea?
What my idea was, I was just going to put just a little dab of grease on top of them studs. Lay this in here where you want it and just bring it down and touch it.
Before we imprint the bottom of this seat cushion, we're going to put our armrest on over there, because we won't be able to get to it once the seat is in place. Best part of this is I can get Caterpillar brand bolts in there where you won't see them anyway. Okay, there's our grease imprints right there and there. Dad's got a piece of strap here, so he's going to make some of these to replicate what was originally on the seat. Got the holes drilled in here where we think we had it marked, but I'm going to set the cushion back in here and I'm going to sit in it and see if it'll leave some imprints to verify exactly where we're at. Ooh, kind of like it up here. Got it verified. Those are right where my imprints were, so now I can drill it out. Sometimes all those biscuits and gravy I eat for breakfast are useful. Okay, let's test fit it. Looks pretty good. Now that we've verified that will fit, and Dad's over on the drill press making the plates that we're going to screw on underneath, I'm going to go ahead and put the toolbox on here. There's these washers, and they're a little bit tapered, so the thinner part actually goes to the top, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't really know. We'll put them in there. Those are just fine thread bolts. They're a little longer than most of them on this machine, and there's a flat washer inside the toolbox and a lock washer underneath under the fender. I remember when it looked like this. Well, not like this, but like this before like this. Now I'm going to install the parking brake. This goes here. I'm going to go ahead and put this pin in there to hold this end of the linkage, and I'll get a cotter key in there in just a minute. Over on this end we got a little bracket that just slides through right here, and there's two 1/4-inch bolts on either side that hold it on, and these are not Caterpillar bolts. This is one of those areas I didn't get Caterpillar bolts, one of very, very few. Last but not least, I got a cotter key that goes in here, and I'll have to put it in here, bend it, and then cut it off. Let's see if it works. There it is. Holds the brake in. That's your D4 parking brake, and then to release it, you depress the brake, and this is spring-loaded, so it'll just come on back on its own. Dad doesn't like it because it scratches up the side of the fender. Fender. And no, there's not one on the other side, but I guess worst-case scenario, if it does move, which it's not likely to, it's just going to spin around in a circle wherever it is. Dad has finished the plates that go on the bottom of the cushion, and they look pretty beautiful. I must admit, the old man did a good job here. We've got the pieces of metal under here that are painted, and Dad's even countersunk the holes where the screws go in, just like the originals. There it goes. Perfect. Okay, let's get some track guards on here. We're going to push this thing out of here with the skid steer, take it out in the yard, turn it around, and push it back in. And you're probably asking, why aren't we just driving it out there and turning it around? It's because at the moment, all of our injectors are down getting calibrated. Well, this happened. This fender was perfectly straight, and the track humped up and hit it. We're taking the fender off of this before we move it another inch, and we're gonna bend it back, and we're gonna repaint it. And the beauty is, this is the Komatsu paint that's got the hardener in it. We can sand it down, we can bend it back, we can blend it, we'll recoat the whole thing. There we go. All right, just put it back there. These were the straightest fenders I've seen on a D4. The seat's just kind of hanging there. We got the fender off. This thing's one step forward, two steps back.
That'll be okay, won't it?
If you watch the other track, I'll push it.
Back up. Now go forward a little bit.
When we moved it the other day under its own power, I think that sprocket kind of puts a little bit more downward pressure on it to keep it from humping up. Now this is my theory, but when we're pushing it with the skid steer, I think it just kind of freewheels wherever it wants to go. But the other side comes very close too. It's got two links that are really problematic. So we decided we're not going to move it again until we can move it under its own power. We're going to make a angle iron bracket for the seat back there. And we're not going to put this fender on here again until we take this out under its own power. We were this close to having this finished and taking it to the show. We're just waiting on the injectors. And I was going to put the track guards on. Well, you guys know. I'm not putting them on now. Not yet. This was me wanting the best of the best. These track chains are really good if they weren't stuck. So they're no good now that they're stuck. So I'm going to end this one here. It's not where I wanted to end it. I was expecting to put the track guards on and roll it out. And in a couple of days, we'd take it out and run it once the injectors come back. But this is it. This is where we're at. We're going to sand that fender down and bend it back. And I'll build it up with weld where it kind of got messed up. And we'll grind it and recoat it. Yeah. Got a pretty good gap in the middle.
Half inch it's got to come back.
Yeah. Well,
looks like.
We've done it before. We'll do it again. I do want to thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one. This reminds me of the time when, well, we dropped a backhoe bucket on Grandpa's brand new Dodge pickup in 1994, I think. Right when those new ones came out, the new style everybody wanted. He had a diesel, and it bent that tailgate. Like, I don't know, we dropped it, but we set it on there, and it bent it like a rainbow. So Dad and I took the stabilizer on the backhoe, took the tailgate off, put some blocks out on the concrete, and put a blanket over it, bent it back, and that darn tailgate, it never worked right for Grandpa. I don't know. It worked, but he never really knew. He'll probably watch this and he'll know. Sorry, Grandpa. Yeah, we bent that tailgate. That's why it never closed right.